Hello again. I am working a little bit on my new Porsche seats. I bought them from a crashed car, so they have, or the passenger seat have some pretty huge indentations in it. The driver seats just have a couple of small ones. So I'm now going to use all the research that I've learned the last year or so since I bought them and see if I can, an amateur like me can manage to work on the ladder to make it look perfect again, or as good as I can do. The passenger seat has the biggest damages. There's a small indentations in the back, a medium-sized one in the middle, and then a really big one in the front. On with some lotion. Done some work on it now, and the biggest one here is, you can still see it really well, but the actual indentation is probably half the size that it was. Now there's just a small ridge. Before it was a huge thing. On this part it's about the same, half as big, still visible, but it's actually more visible on camera than in real life. And the small spot here is pretty much gone. So I'm gonna try and just heat up and cool down. Try and do this process a lot of times while adding some lotion to keep the leather soft and nice. But it's definitely a lot better than it was, and hopefully I can get it to a point where it's not really visible at first sight, at least. I doubt that I'll be able to get it completely gone, but seems like this process is working pretty well. You can also see some small kind of bumps on both sides here, so I'm gonna try and see if I can heat up this part too and cool it down, see if it makes a difference. Now it looks pretty much perfectly smooth. Well, you can see the bumps on the other side. So this definitely worked very well. Gonna try and do the other side too. So the process is just heat it up so enough that I can still touch it, and then kind of work it a little bit, stretch, make it even, and then cool it down with 2 frozen bottles, kind of changing between so the surface is as cool as possible. The best thing would be to use like bronze or a metal that is good at the cooling, but those are super expensive, so I'm just using bottles, frozen bottles. This is a bone leather working tool, by the way. Cheap thing that I bought at a fabric store. This turned out pretty much perfect. Very happy about that. Basically, you can see a small crease at the very bottom here, but all the big bulges on top are gone. Looks very good now. The driver's seat is in better condition, and the worst spots here are some pressure marks here and here, plus a little bit of unevenness here, and a small mark here. The seating area is actually perfect. So I'm going to do the same procedure of heating up and stretching the leather a little bit, and then cooling it down to retract again. So here we have the leather seats installed in the car, and you can see the results of my repairs. We can start with the driver's seat, and the only problems here were some marks here, which there was a spot here that's completely gone, and you can see that there's tiny indentation there still, but it's almost completely gone. The sides here were a bit uneven, but they're pretty much perfect. Same on the other side here. Can't really get it much better than this. So I'm extremely happy about the driver's side. Passenger side was by far the worst one. The left side here is pretty much perfect. The right side, you can see there's tiny bit uneven here and there, but with leather you can kind of work on it as much as you feel like it. So once it gets uneven again, you can try and heat it up and cool it down and treat it. So I'm very happy about that. The bottom piece, you can see here was a pretty big spot. Depending on the angle and light, you can still see it a tiny bit. And the same with this part. Some angles, pretty much invisible. Others you can kind of see a little bit. So comes the big one that was here. Huge indentation. The leather repair guy decided to just replace this section, which on the first try I don't think it turned out perfectly, because there was a small unevenness on the front and the color didn't really match. So since he was doing some more repairs on the airbags, because I wanted him to take out them in the airbags when painting the seats, so I didn't ruin the leather, and then he took back this seat also and tried to make it look even better. So I think he ended up painting this section here, and now it looks pretty much perfect. There's still tiny bit of shine and feel difference, like the original ones feels a little harder and stiffer, while this is a little bit softer and less shiny. But all in all, it looks very, very good. So if you want to do bigger repairs, there definitely are limitations of how deep damages you can get out. But with small stuff like this, and even on the sides here, it's definitely possible to get a lot done yourself. All in all, I'm very happy about the result. I could keep 95% of the seats and they look perfect, and I managed to fix up all the small things, and the one thing that needed to be replaced also ended up looking really, really good. So now I have two perfect looking 991 seats in my Porsche 996. Super happy about the result, and I'm looking forward to start using this a lot more now. See you later.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.